Welcome to Will and Mark's Healthy Sports Obsession. I'm Will Hubner here with Mark Mashashik. We are two doctors of physical therapy, and we are here to answer your PT questions as well as give our take on current sporting events from a health perspective. As always, send your questions to willandmarkshso@gmail.com, and we will answer them on the show. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode. I'm Will Hubner here with Mark Mashashik. Let's just start off with Kobe Bryant. Dies in a fatal plane accident, 41 years old.
Helicopter accident, yeah.
Yeah. What was your, how did you find out about the news?
So someone said it at the grocery store. I thought it was a joke, and I got home, and I was put on the Pro Bowl, actually, and the Pro Bowl coverage stopped to cover it, and, it was a weird feeling for me. I mean, to say you mourn and feel a visceral reaction to any human life, you can, but to someone you don't know, it's weird. It's just I've spent thousands of hours of my life just appreciating and really loving this athlete and transcending athletics, and his passion for basketball and for life, I think, was inspiring to all of us. I had a visceral reaction to this. I really felt like this is a person that I connected with, that had a horrible early end to his life, and the 8 or 9 other victims of the crash too. This really sad day, sad time period for sports lovers, and like I said, he transcends basketball. So for people who follow inspirational people in general. What about you? How'd you find out, and how'd you feel about it?
Text from my brother during Maryland basketball game, and it was a really close game. It was a very exciting game. And my brother texted me, "Kobe died?" ? And I didn't think it was a joke. I thought maybe he heard a wrong headline because LeBron just passed his record. So I thought maybe he read a headline of Kobe passed or something like that.
Right.
And so I looked it up, and there are so many articles on it. Terrible.
Terrible. Hard to think about. It's just even hard to think about. And you just, hearing a lot of his friends and people who were close to him, seeing the work that he was putting forward to this next chapter of his life, this post-basketball, where he was potentially going to do a lot more things beyond basketball to make the world a better place. It hurts it even more. And obviously his relationship with his daughter, that was so beautiful, and seeing her blossom as a person, really sad. And we don't know as much about the other victims, but still just sad for all of them. Sad for everybody.
I mean, I can't imagine as a parent being on a plane with your 13-year-old daughter knowing the plane's going down, you're not going to,
I can't even think about it.
That's got to be tough.
We don't have to talk about the Pro Bowl. There's not much to talk about there. But watching it, Booger McFarland and the other guy doing it said they couldn't talk about the fact that, it was him and his daughter. They started crying, knowing that they were fathers and thinking about their kids of their own. So
yeah,
really,
he's leaving behind 4 other children, 7-month-old, I believe,
kid is really
and a wife.
Terrible, and for all the other families involved,
right,
too.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone lost people.
They said Kobe was a frequent flyer on the helicopter. It's kind of his thing.
It was his. I believe it was his.
Yeah.
He owned the helicopter.
Yeah. That's tough. What's some of your favorite memories? You kind of already touched on some of the work ethic and.
But that's what is most memorable. Just his the desire on his face when he stuck a dagger in someone's heart from hitting a shot. Or, I mean, you could say specific games. The 81-point game obviously comes to mind. Any of the the postseason accolades. But it's just that it's the Mamba mentality. That's what I respected the most. I think when you hear a lot of athletes, I listen to a lot of athlete interviews, and a lot of people will say Kobe Bryant's my favorite player, and they're like, why? It's because his mentality was on a different level. I mean, he came into the league as a great athlete, but he wasn't the first pick overall. He was traded in that draft. What was he, 17th? His drive for basketball, for life, and for improving himself is something that I think really touched all people beyond just sports fans. I just don't remember someone in sports passing where literally feel like everyone knows who this person is.
Yeah. I think it's all about that mentality.
What about you? Any be nostalgic here? Any favorite Kobe moments for you?
I think there's just like a lot of stories you hear about Kobe. I mean, in general, he's probably like the hardest working athlete. Like he crafted his game after Michael Jordan. He practiced those same moves over and over and over and over again. I mean, you could YouTube videos and see the two of them doing identical moves. You could just tell how much he studied the game. He's crafty, very athletic. But like you said, he's not the number one overall pick. There's more athletic guys in the league than him, but it's so tough to stop. I remember it was it was a article I was reading, or somebody in the Players Tribune was talking about how they were playing really well and they got up and went to practice, and they wanted to get in like 500 shots before anybody else got in the gym. And they show up and Kobe's already there. And Kobe's like already in the sweat.
I think it was Jason Williams.
Yeah, Jason Williams, that's right. And Kobe's already in the set. He's taking game time shots, he's not just messing around. And so Jason Williams, puts on his shoes, goes out, practices for like an hour and a half. Says, game time's coming up. I got to go stretch. I got to go do my stuff. And he leaves, and Kobe's still out there taking game time shots, putting in work. And after the game, he goes up to Kobe, and he says, "Man, that was really impressive how long you stuck around." He said, "Yeah, I saw you come in the court." He said, "As soon as you walked in, I knew I had to outlast you, just so you know you'll never be able to, like, as hard as you ever work, you'll never outwork me." And like that's just his mentality.
Exactly. And I think another sad part of this is that's not just how he approached basketball, that's how he approached life. And I think we're going to miss out on a lot of great things that he still would have done moving forward. But out of all the people he touched, I'm looking forward to a lot of the stories like that I don't think he, as much as he was, that I want the ball, I don't think he was out there as a hubris person to say, like, I want great stories to be written about me. He just wanted to be great, and I think he kept a lot of stuff off the record. So I think there'll be a lot more stories like that are off the record that we'll get to hear about Kobe and that we can learn from.
Well,
but it's beyond basketball. Leader, like hearing how much he studied and wanted to be a good leader and studying leadership. That is profound. It wasn't just basketball to him.
Yeah, I think it was Shaq's son came out and said that he received a text like that same day that the plane went down, and it was
helicopter,
yeah. And they were just saying, he said, like, "You good?" And I guess Shaq's son recently transferred schools. There's kind of a lot of publicity on it, and he was just checking in to make sure that he's doing all right. I think that's just kind of the person Kobe was. I think a lot of people think he's very arrogant or cocky, but I think that's just kind of his self-confidence that he has in himself. And I feel like, he can get construed the wrong way in the game, but I think at the end of the day, he's one of the hardest working players we have, and he kind of changed the game for everybody else.
The respect for that, and I think that comes forward. It's just the most respect that he would get were from his colleagues and other athletes. Like when you hear these interviews, everyone respects Kobe, because how can you not respect someone who wants to make his peers better and to always push the envelope? Yeah, bummer day, bummer week, bummer time in basketball. Hall of Fame next year for Kobe.
He's already.
That's gonna be sad too. I mean, it's gonna be tough. There's gonna be a shrine at the Staples Center, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. His number's already retired up there. It's in the rafters.
Right. I mean, there's no question about it. Among the greatest players to ever play the game of basketball. You don't throw that around. You don't just say that because you want to say it because someone just passed away. Legitimately among the greatest basketball players of all time.
Yeah. No, it's incredible. Let's maybe move on to something a little bit lighter.
Little bit lighter topics, sure.
So let's talk about the MLB Hall of Fame.
Sure.
So we got Derek Jeter. I know you wanted to talk about he wasn't unanimous, one vote off.
Yeah, what's up with that? So I'll go on my grinds my gears rant for the day.
From a Red Sox fan.
From a Red Sox fan, from a legit Red Sox fan, from a Red Sox fan who will go on record to say the way I was raised, and this is where I'm from, is that we would rather see the Yankees lose than the Red Sox win. It's a better feeling for us. This is ridiculous. Derek Jeter he's Mr. Baseball. Who didn't vote? I think the process by which we do the Hall of Fame is wrong, and of course he still gets in. But the fact that someone's allowed to say that they have the accreditation to vote for the Hall of Fame, and they don't think Derek Jeter should be in the Hall of Fame. Like, I feel like we should have this information. Like, you should have to post who you didn't vote for, and you should have to stand for the reason you didn't vote for him. I want to know why you didn't vote for Derek Jeter. We don't know who he is. They protect him. But can you rationalize any reason? I mean, I just see the only thing I can think of is personal vendetta. Is Jeter maybe didn't give him an interview or something once? The media. What did we look this up? What do they call a certain level of accredited media gets to vote for the Hall of Fame?
Right. Yep.
So I mean, I think we should change the process, and I have a solution for it.
What's your solution?
I think that I should just pick.
Just a one-man decider.
I think I would be honest, just, true, and fair.
I think it would be every single Red Sox ever play. First one you put in is Manny Ramirez.
Nomar.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
The other guy, Larry Walker gets in.
Yep.
If we're going to do a grind my gears segment on anything, it's going to be Larry Walker.
Give it to me.
So you get 10 years to be eligible, be on the Hall of Fame ballot, right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't get in year after year after year after year. His numbers like gradually increase. Mm-hmm. 10th year, last one on there. Oh, it's his last time on the ballot. Let's put him in there. It gets 76% of the votes. It's ridiculous. I don't think your stats don't change. Your ability as a player don't change over the years for you to all of a sudden get more and more votes.
So would you say that it grinds your gears that Larry Walker is not a caliber of player you should be in there, or you just think the process itself is just silly? It's just like I almost call it a charade. It's just silly.
Yeah, I don't like the process. I mean, I was looking up, there was an article on ESPN about the winners and losers from this MLB Hall of Fame ballot. And somebody like, let's go, Scott Rowland. Mm-hmm. This was one, right? So Scott Rowland, great player. So he took a big leap from 17.2% of the votes to 35.3%. Mm-hmm. So he's nowhere close. You got to get to 75% to get in. Somebody that gets 17% of the votes in any year should not get into the Hall of Fame. Well, that is so far off. Why would you go from 17 to 35 to 50 to 7,
You're doing semantics on numbers, and I agree with you on them, but I would say the process starts with who are the people that are voting. Scott Rowland would be a fence guy for me, to be honest, and he'd be a true fence guy. I probably wouldn't vote for him. That would say that I don't know if he would get in. But regardless of whether you're at 17 or you're at 90, if it's changing every year, what's changing a writer's opinion the year after?
That's what I want to say. There shouldn't be drastic jumps in the amount of percentage points of people voting.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the player. I think the problem is with the process. Like, why are you changing your mind? It's almost like it's it's like a power trip for these accredited writers to say, well, we've got the power, you had the power while you were playing, now we've got the control over you to decide whether you get the ultimate accolade in the end. And we're going to say, oh, well, I go to the football ones. Terrell Owens wasn't nice to the media, so he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's third all-time in receiving yards, third all-time in touchdowns, something like third all-time. He's got better numbers than 90% of the receivers in the, why don't you vote for him? It's a personal vendetta. It's wrong. I would say if we had to move, I joke about myself. I really do think I would do a better process, and I would try to be just and fair, better than the media. But I think maybe we should just have Hall of Famers vote on Hall of Famers. If you're in the Hall of Fame, whoever's alive and in the Hall of Fame, they vote, and we do 75% out of that. I think that because why would it's less of a reason for a personal vendetta. If you did it that way, I guarantee you Derek Jeter would get in. I think Hall of Famer Red Sox would be voting for Derek Jeter.
Well, it's tough. I mean, because like a guy like who did you talk about? Terrell Owens, and even like a guy like Barry Bonds. Two people that were horrible with the media. The media hated them. They had a very bad relationship. I feel like if you're asking the media to vote and you have a person with a poor relationship with the media, that's going to tarnish their numbers, right? Like they're going to be less likely. Like you got a vendetta against with Bonds steroids, but I mean, in general, people that are not likable like Terrell Owens, they're going to be less likely to be voted on. I don't think that's objective. I don't think that's fair. So that would be another kind of issue I would have with just simply the media voting for. So
right now, where do you stand on the steroids, guys?
I think they get in.
You think you actually think they'll get in, or you think they should get in?
I think they should get in.
I'm also over it. I'm over the steroids, guys.
I think it's the steroid era, right? So you have the asterisk on the entire.
Well, that goes into now we have the new cheating scandals, and how do we know if there is more going to come out about these scandals moving forward? we say technology, but like I'm hearing stories that there's been videotaping going on for baseball for a long period of time.
Here, let's see. We got a couple of comments
We got a
here.
couple comments, all right.
All right, so we got a couple. So Spencer Kalman says, same thing with basketball. Depends on how the overall strength of the class is. Tom Hubner here says they should base the Hall of Fame on value of baseball card and Beckett's price guide. Larry Walker, 10 cents.
Wait, hold up. I want Tom to comment further on this. Based on Beckett's, yeah, but okay, so let's compare him to the other value of cards in that year.
Well, that goes back to Spencer's comment about the strength of the class. And
Yes, I guess the knock on Beckett's is that a lot of the values are going to be driven by the popularity of the team. So all Yankees cards are worth more than all Rockies cards. That's skewed. I want to give the guys who just didn't play in a major market some credit too. But maybe playing in Colorado is a offensive advantage as well. Something we've talked about in the past.
Yeah.
Larry Walker is a hard one to rank for me because we get the Colorado numbers.
I just feel like the Hall of Fame should mean something. You should be like the greatest player in your time at that position.
Not greatest player, but
At your position.
Yeah, but you could have two great players from the same position, and if there's one A and one B, I don't think you should.
Like this goes to Spencer. Then writes a comment: Ben Wallace, Chauncey Billups, Sean Marion, Hall of Famers? ? I would say no.
Why?
Because they're not the best player. Ben Wallace, very good defensive player for a few years, not a great career.
Best shot blocker of his era.
Debatable. For a few years, you got no longevity. Chauncey Billups had some longevity, good player. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. Sean Marion, very athletic, good role player.
I think we need to revisit some of these questions with what we think on objective data. What matters? Longevity or overall skill? How do you factor these things in?
But can you be a Hall of Famer? Say Lamar Jackson. Say he has a terrible season-ending injury, career-ending injury next year, preseason. Does his one season alone, how he changed the game of football and won all these awards, does he get in the Hall of Fame? I think you have to have a career, right? You have to have a long...
It depends on position. Terrell Davis is a guy that's in, and I think, how many good years? 2, 3? He's in. Yeah, Terrell Davis is in.
Do you agree with that, or...
I think you got to measure it. I got to look at the numbers too. I could be shortchanging him a little bit, but it depends on the position. I mean, how great can you be of a running back for? How great can you be a quarterback for? But and there is just the eye factor too. Like, does you feel like this guy should be a Hall of Famer? Can I go on my other rant about this? The main reason I'm angry about Hall of Fame voting is that it is just an offensive accolade. Defense is not rewarded into the Hall of Fame. And I'm not saying defense is the most important part of baseball. Maybe it is. But Omar Vizquel, I can argue, is the greatest defensive player in the history of it. He's probably the greatest defensive shortstop, which I could argue is the most difficult position to play in baseball. And he dominated, and he did it for 3 decades. I can't believe. To me, I think it's a travesty that Omar Vizquel isn't in.
He's at 52% right now. They're saying over the next 7 years they project to get to 75%. It's ridiculous.
Why do we got to wait 7 years for Omar? The only two guys
you got to wait for certain people to vote for him. I think that's the way it works. If you vote for him 1 year, that counts. He's already got your vote, but he's got to get other people's votes. So even if you don't vote for him next year, you don't have to because you already voted for him.
Really?
So yeah,
that's interesting. Anyway, Ozzie Smith is in, and you could argue Ozzie Smith and Omar are pretty equal on defensive talent. Probably among, I would say, we could give them a tie for best defensive shortstops of all time.
Omar
but Omar's offensive stats are the same as people think of him as a bad offensive player. He's not bad. It's just
he played 100 years, right?
It's like
Omar Vizquel's 200 years old.
I think it was 112 years he played. 1989 to 2012.
He was playing not that long ago, 2012. 60 games. Yeah, he's pretty impressive.
What's his career batting average?
Career batting
272.
Average?
I think Ozzie Smith is 268.
Yeah, 272.
Yeah, somebody. If you don't think Omar Vizquel should be in the Hall of Fame, YouTube double play highlights Omar Vizquel and watch that and say this guy doesn't really have the Hall of Fame feel for him. You're wrong.
Well, yeah, it almost seems like the newer game is all about making highlight plays and dives and all that stuff. I mean, he was just the maybe one of the most fundamental players there is. Like, a
No,
ball's
he-
hit anywhere in the vicinity of shortstop, he's going to make...
But electric plays, too. He was throwing the ball with his glove and catching the ball with his hand half the time. Like, doing unconventional, amazing things. I wish they had a tracker. Maybe some of our listeners can see if they know about this. I wish that web gems, I wish they had a tracker of how many web gems you had. Like, make that a stat. See,
Who votes on that, though? Some ESPN writer, right?
but still, you got to give some. I mean,
Should we get you to vote on all that, too? You determine every night the top 10
I don't
web
have.
gems.
I don't have web gem. I have Hall of Fame time. I don't have web gem time.
Okay, that's where you draw the line.
But I don't want to miss the steroid guys. You say you're over
I
this.
say
it's a
Bonds
steroid
gets in, McGuire gets in, Sosa gets in.
I think a lot of these guys. It's a lot of it is. A lot of the steroid guys that aren't in are.
Is Canseco in? He's not in, right?
No.
I say he should get in.
Canseco's not allowed into a major league stadium. That's the definition of blackballed from baseball. I'm not saying that was not deserved. I don't really have a strong opinion one or another. I mean, he I don't know, he whistleblowed.
That does not affect your Hall of Fame status to me. I don't know. Like, it shouldn't be
I
about
think a
what kind
lot of the
person
guys who don't get in that are steroid users are also guys that are just hated. Clemens, Bonds, Manny. Did Manny tested positive with the... So it's weird, like, where in your career you test positive too. Once you're a cheater, you're always a cheater. But I feel like there's guys who people like that will get in that have tested positive for something. But if you're not liked...
See, I think potentially Manny doesn't get in even if he never was on
I think it's because
steroids.
he's not liked, though.
Yeah, that's part of it. But his defense was just atrocious.
He's the greatest right-handed hitter of all time.
Like, you want to get Omar in for being a great defender.
You say you have to be the greatest. He's the greatest right-handed hitter of all time. He also had the only out of so all left-handed swings are prettier than right-handed swings. He had a right-handed swing that was as pretty as a left-handed swing. No one else can do that.
No, he's a great hitter.
Oh, he's beyond great. I mean, like, goat hitter, yeah.
Yeah.
Sphere.
I don't know if he's ever, like, the best outfielder of his era, though. Is he, like, a top 10 outfielder in his era? Just overall guys you would draft over him? Or guys you would draft him over?
You're saying on defense, or you're basing off it?
Just as a player.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Top 10? Where do you have him?
Pitchers terrified of him staring back at him. Terrified. His era, what do you consider his era? 95 to 10?
I don't know.
95 to 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was a time where I don't know how you factor in the steroids, where Manny Ramirez was the most feared offensive weapon in baseball.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think we both agree that the media plays too much of a role. Got a question here. Mavs just retired Kobe's number 24. Do you think the whole NBA should retire number 8 and number 24?
I mean, the easy answer is to just say yes to that right now.
Oh, I say no.
Why?
Because you didn't... Like, LeBron still has number 23. I think if you're going to start with retiring anybody's number, you're going to go with the greatest of all time, Michael Jordan.
Didn't MLB retire Roberto Clemente's? I didn't finish my point before. I'm not saying that that the NBA should actually do that. I just think in the aftermath here,
Oh, yeah.
of feeling emotional,
Answer.
like
Right.
it's the emotional answer.
Yeah.
But Clemente's number is not retired, right?
I do not know.
I think baseball only has unanimously Jackie Robinson for breaking the color barrier for sports. Yeah, we'll get back to on whether we think Kobe's number should be retired, but hard to think straight through the emotions of it right now.
So Trae Young, we always talk about Trae Young and Luka, but Trae Young, my guy, he decides to wear number 8 in honor of Kobe Bryant. Goes for 45 and 14. What a game! Balls out for Kobe.
He's got the Mamba mentality spirit in him right now.
Oh, he does. He lets it fly. What do you think about your Minutemen?
Yeah. So we'll hit college basketball. We're going to do local college basketball.
Everybody wants to know about UMass. We're all excited to hear how they're doing.
Well, I don't think everyone. Come on, you're putting me. I'm not a Terp, and you're putting me in a corner here. Yeah, no, they're having a great year. It's sub 500, but I mean we're starting all freshmen. That's kind of it's. I'll say I went to the Mason game. They played here in Northern Virginia. Went to the game the other night and had a really good time. They lost to Mason. They had a great run. I thought they actually played better than Mason. We look a little out of shape and inexperienced, and we just couldn't hold them off at the end. Best player, Trey Mitchell. I think he's going to win Freshman of the Year for the A-10. Obi Toppin looks like he's a top 10 NBA pick right now. I think Trey Mitchell looks better as a freshman than Obi did last year. So a lot of excitement to look forward to. Spent my first time at the Eagle Arena, Mason basketball. Beautiful little place to go to watch a game. Great. Yeah, I got a big sausage dog with onions on it and stuff.
I remember you were looking at tickets and you were trying to choose between the $1 ticket and the $2 tickets to see which was the better advantage point.
I found it. I wish we had time to bring it up ahead of time. I went with the $1, but you can't on SeatGeek. You can't go off the visual on it. You've got to just trust their color rating system. If it's green, it means go.
Did you sit in your actual seat or did you move down?
There's not a bad seat in the stadium. I did sit in my actual seat. It was funny. There were a lot of UMass fans in that one weird section where the tickets were cheap. I went with the $1 option, $5.50 service fee, so $6.50 to see some.
See, that's ridiculous.
See some quality basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, just 550% more than the actual price of the ticket. Okay, that gets us to what I think you were bringing it up for me. Is you'd like to discuss some Maryland basketball, maybe?
Oh yeah.
What do you got going on?
They're turning it around. I've never felt more confident in this team during the season, at least this season. But I think they're going to make a big run. I think they're going to win like 5 of their next 6. So did you hear about like they're ranking teams in the quadrants? Mm-hmm. I think it's like top 50 is quadrant 1, it's 50 to 100 is quadrant 2. They go on so on so on.
Sure.
Maryland has the most quad 1 and quad 2 wins of any team in the nation right now. So they're consistently beating good teams, and they are playing out of them. So this game last, did you see any of it? They played Indiana.
I missed the Indiana-Maryland game.
So Indiana hasn't lost at home. Mm-hmm. They're just coming off a win against Michigan State. They have a great crowd, great atmosphere, but they're really good at home. So Maryland gets off to a big run. They're up, I believe, 12 at half, looking really good. Indiana comes out the second half and just starts taking it to them. They actually ended up going up by, I think, 11 points or so to Maryland. Maryland's down 6 points with a minute to go, and we hit a 3. We get a turnover, get some stops, and we end up taking the lead with 20 seconds to go and end up winning the game. So we scored the last 7 points the last minute of the game to beat them. Beautiful. At their place.
Big Ten's playing well in general, right? We got Big Ten teams that are pushing.
Probably the deepest conference out of all the conferences, out of the Power 5.
Where's Baylor coming from? What's this Baylor Bears stuff?
I just don't. Yeah, I don't think that'll last. I'm a little disappointed in Michigan State. I think they have the talent to win it all this year.
Preseason favorite, right?
Yeah, right. North Carolina is the story of the year.
Tell me more about it.
They're terrible. Have you seen this? They're not making the tournament this year unless they go on a monster run.
Who's the freshman point guard that's supposed to be great?
Oh yeah. I can visualize him.
So you stay definitely more on the college basketball season, but I follow the draft scene coming up. He's still projected as
Cole Anthony.
Cole Anthony is still projected to definitely be a top 5 pick.
He's a stud. I don't think
doesn't matter.
Wins and losses don't matter in college.
Yeah, I think actually having high draft picks usually equal an inverse correlation with winning in basketball.
Say that again.
The inverse correlation. A lot of teams with very, very high draft picks mean that team's probably young and inexperienced and don't play that well.
I mean, I still kind of feel this way, but I feel like if you're going to be the number 1 pick overall, like your team in college should be good. If you're the best college player, how can your team, like Markelle Fultz, Washington had a losing record.
Exactly, but the NBA doesn't draft on the best players. They draft on the potential for talent. And the freshmen in college basketball are very rarely the best players. Maybe Zion was an exception to that last year, if you would consider him the best player last year. But yeah, they're drafting on talent, and this is going to be more extreme in the following year when they're going back to removing the one and done system. We're going to see the high school jump again, which would maybe increase the quality of college basketball. But we're going to see the top athletes in the country be removed from the sport.
Jalen Smith, Terps big guy, Sticks. He is shooting 40% from 3 this year.
Really?
and which is, if you're looking at NBA scouts looking at this guy, he can shoot the ball. It's proven that he can shoot the ball. He's incredible free throw shooter. He's got great touch. He's still on the smaller side. I mean, he can get pushed around, but he is making huge strides. I think he's going to be a lottery pick. He's averaging like over 27 and 12 his last like 4 games.
His current projection, which I mean they don't update every day, and he's hot right now, is not a lottery pick. He's around that top 20 pick right now. Another comment from Spencer: thoughts on LaMelo Ball being projected number 1 overall? Any feeling on that?
I mean, just the whole Ball incident. I'm not rooting for him by any means.
You think he's the best Ball brother?
I don't know. I haven't seen enough of him. I think Lonzo's really good. I don't know. I think Lonzo is just given so much. People kind of just take away his great athletic ability because of his dad. I think his dad overshadowed his whole.
I agree. I think their father doesn't give them a lot of help in the public eye. I don't think LaMelo will be drafted first overall. I think measuring his competition compared to measuring other people's competition is very difficult. I think it would be cool to see him get drafted by the Pelicans, though.
That would be cool.
They must get along, right? I think he projects as a better shooting guard in the NBA than he does point guard.
Yeah.
So I think to put Lonzo at the 1 and him at the 2 would be really cool to see. Two brothers.
Lonzo's defense is a lot better than. I mean, you just don't get credit for defense that much in the NBA. But Lonzo's defense and passing ability, I think Lonzo could be an all-star. It's not going to happen on the Pelicans. But I
maybe
think he's got potential.
If LaMelo helps him out, maybe. Yeah. So hard to grade LaMelo. Hard to grade people.
Zion's back.
Yeah, that was fun, right?
17 straight.
Yeah.
I'm
4 threes, 4 for 4 for threes. Yeah, I'm concerned about how he's moving. I'm assuming that his knee is fine, and what I saw was anxiety based, but there was some very abnormal motions in the way he was landing and running. Like he looked tentative. Like I actually would almost refer to it as a little bit of a limp I saw at one point. But I would assume it's young kid knee surgery. Maybe he's just being very tentative on it. But
I think
looked out of shape too. But I mean,
I think we're going to see him get shut down for the rest of the year. At some point this year, I don't see him finishing the regular season due to them being just so far out of any potential. And I think we're going to see some more injuries the rest of the year. They might be minor.
Okay.
But I think we're going to see some more ankle and knee issues.
Okay. I can't agree or disagree. We got to get to Super Bowl talk. What's your prediction? What's the line? Do we know the line? Go, give me your prediction.
I'm going 49ers, and I will say 49ers by 4. With I think the game comes down to Patrick Mahomes needing to score a touchdown to end the game, and they just don't have enough time. The defense holds up for the 49ers.
You got 49ers by 4. Line is Kansas City a -1. So, you thought San Francisco would be in favor on the line?
I thought they'd be a little bit of favorites. I wonder what it started at and where maybe that's where it is now. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know how to look at that right now. But
the Chiefs are the more fun team to watch, I think. Right?
Oh,
Patrick Mahomes. If you look at kind of,
I think
who's the more exciting team? It's the Chiefs for sure.
Well, yeah. Well, I think that's why people are rooting for. But I wouldn't. You can't give San Francisco non-credit to say that San Francisco isn't exciting to watch. What's dangerous about San Francisco right now is that we haven't seen them. They've been winning all year, and they haven't really opened everything up. Jimmy G does not have a statistically great season, and he didn't play bad. It's just they haven't had the offense had to go there yet. They run the ball. They run the small ball, use the fullback to move around so he can catch or block. And Kyle Shanahan's offense is brilliant. But if they get in trouble and they get down, it'll be interesting to see if San Francisco – if Jimmy G can open it up and keep the game close. Because they're as good as San Francisco's defense is, and it's probably the best defense in the NFL, they don't match up well with Kansas City, who is built on speed when they are built to be a physical defense. They could get after Mahomes, who is slippery, and these bigger defensive linemen are not built on speed. He could potentially slip away from them a little bit. And then the defensive backs, like you think, oh, well, Richard Sherman's a great defensive back. Well, who are you putting Richard Sherman on? He can't keep up with Tyreek Hill. He can't keep up with McCole Hardman. He can't keep up with Sammy Watkins. It's weird.
Keep up with Watkins. You don't think?
Yeah, I know Watkins' numbers aren't good, but the speed's still there.
Well, I guess, if you have a great pass rush, Like, are the Chiefs' game plan thinking, hey, we're going to get the ball out quick, we're going to do a lot of screens, we're going to use our speed, do end arounds, or are they thinking we're going to just hit them with a bomb?
Both. It's Andy Reid. He's got this figured out. Chiefs are putting up. Chiefs are definitely putting up more than 35.
You're telling me Bosa's not going to get his?
What do you consider that?
I think he's going to have a big impact on the game. I think he's going to force Mahomes to get the ball out too quick. I think it's going to be tough for them to get the long passes like they want, just because I think Bosa's going to be a monster.
I think Andy Reid's too smart. Now, Andy Reid has a history of choking. Andy Reid is the known choker. But the way Patrick Mahomes has looked the past couple games, I think he's developing into a field general on top of his natural talents. And I think Andy Reid's known for screwing up the clock at some point. I don't think Mahomes will let it get screwed up. I think that the Chiefs are definitely going over 35 points in this game. And I think we don't know if San Francisco can keep up with it. I think they might be able to. I got a good game. If you want to take 49ers, I keep flip-flopping in my head, but I'll take Chiefs against you.
Yeah, that's fair. We got another comment here. From Jerome, I think instead of retiring a number league-wide, they could change the logo to his image. What do you think?
That's
tough for me. I think a temporary one I'd be fine with.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Just to show respect, I mean.
But for a full-time one, I don't know. I think it's tough. I think it's an emotional time right now where
there's issues with it, too, because they've wanted to change it to Jordan's Air Jordan logo before, and that's been shot down a bunch of times.
Well, they both have, like, some off-the-court issues, right? Like, Jordan had a gambling problem, drinking problem, Kobe accused of rape. I mean, there's things that kind of...
Wasn't he exonerated, though?
They came to a deal. She was acquitted, or he was acquitted, and she dropped the charge. But yeah, he was never technically found guilty of that. But I think it's just tough to be the image of like. There's got to be something flawless. Like the only person that I could see changing anything would be like Ken Griffey Jr. for baseball. Be like
it's a perfect image.
Yeah, there's nothing to tarnish his name or nothing.
Oh, you're saying on the angel factor, never. Like
Jerry West. Can you think of anything negative about Jerry West? I don't know a ton about him.
No. But you can't compare, if you're looking at off the field issues, you can't compare anything pre-internet to post-internet or pre-iPhone cameras to post.
Well, the Lakers, so they retired his number. You can't be number 24-8 for the Lakers right now, correct? When they put your jersey up in the rafters?
I think that's correct. Yeah, but they're going to run out of retired numbers for the Lakers and Celtics at some point.
Yeah. Like, no, you can be number 23 for any team, but the Bulls, you cannot be number 23 anymore. That number's retired for the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah,
maybe the Wizards, I don't know.
We'll email into Mark and Sports HSO with more ideas of how the NBA could commemorate Kobe.
Yeah. Does this now give the Lakers, are people now rooting for this, gives that Lakers that kind of edge in terms of extra motivation for them to win it all this year? They're playing for Kobe. Yeah, I think they're already going to win it, personally.
I think it definitely makes them have a white hat, for sure. But being involved with sports, my history, trying to win it for someone, I don't think always motivates people in the right way to do it. So I don't know if that's the ultimate goal. But I definitely think it puts it in. I think a lot of people are going to be rooting for the Lakers who may have not been rooting for the Lakers because they play the Clippers this week.
Okay. A lot of people on social media, the posts I've been seeing, everybody's talking about Kobe. But a lot of them start out with like, I'm not a Lakers fan. I've never been a big Kobe fan. But this hurts so much, how much he impacted the game and how much of an effect he had on themselves. So it's interesting. He's kind of one of those players that you love him or hate him, but you definitely respect him.
Yeah.
Another comment. Well, Jerry West has said that he wished he was never the logo. I think Jerry West would give it his blessing. That would change things a little bit. I wouldn't be opposed to Jerry West not being on there ananymore.
I wouldn't either.
But I don't know. We'd have to revisit this like a year from now, right? When the emotions are a little bit less than they are now.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'd say, I mean, why should someone be the logo for something? I think it's an iconic image.
Yeah, I would think if the logo would change, it would be the Air Jordan one.
I think it's because it's copyrighted by the Air Jordan company already, though.
Oh, that was a major issue?
I think that conflicts, yeah.
Who is the commissioner the one who would choose this? That would make this happen?
I think so, yeah.
And then I wonder what picture you would use of Kobe. Like, what would be the...
Yeah, I wish we knew a graphic artist because that would be just cool to see. Like, how could we make him into a logo? It'd be pretty cool to see.
Like, you think of Michael Jordan with his tongue out doing the
But it's
the
just
free throw line.
the Air Jordan sign with the split legs.
Right. But, like, Kobe, I just can't think of anything in my head where Kobe, like, that's just his... Maybe like a fadeaway.
He's changed his image a lot too. You know, we had hair Kobe to bald Kobe, and 8.
I forgot about hair
and
Kobe.
24 and 8 to 24. There's just there were changes.
Yeah.
Anyway, comment in. We'll bring it up next week on the podcast.
Yeah. Ways to change or to honor Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Give us feedback on the Hall of Fame voting for Major League Baseball.
Yeah, what opinions or solutions to make it a better process.
And then, so you can comment on the Facebook page, willandmarkshso@gmail.com. We're looking for more physical therapy questions, so anybody who's got any issues or ailments or just wants to know something health-related, let us know. We'll talk about it.
Free advice. We charge a lot of money for this stuff. You're getting it for free on Will and Mark's HSO. So send them in. More physical therapy to come up a lot to cover in sports right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
We are over and out.
Over and out.